Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today is probably going to be the last side quest of A Realm Reborn. There's a few more that may pop up again here and there, but these are the last ones that are currently available. So I suspect that they may be the last ones we do for A Realm Reborn. Obviously we're still going to be doing seasonal events, and we're going to be doing more dungeons, but those will be in main episodes. And we're going to be doing the sightseeing logs. But, like, in terms of side quests, this might actually be it. This might be the end of them. So that's fun. Today we're going to be doing something special, something I have actually been deliberately saving as long as possible. In that I have never done it on my main account either, because I wanted to do this for the first time here for the Let's Play. So we are just west of Horizon, east of Vesper Bay, and we have Valiant Heart right here, for the greatest story never told. The realm of Eorzea is filled with countless mysteries, but there is only one which Valiant Heart wishes to solve. Elements, wheels, bah, it's gibberish, utter gibberish. As I live and breathe, a warrior of light. I haven't seen your like in years, not since bloody Cartano, certainly. I see you refuse to confirm or deny my assessment, keeping a low profile, are we? Very well, I shall speak of this to no one. By the by, my name is Valiant Heart. A pleasure to meet you, my lady. Ah, look at us, two veterans burdened with experiences beyond the common man's ken. I say, we should be friends, you and I. To that end, I shall share with you my reason for being here, and in doing so, deepen our bond. Tell me, have you heard of Winebound? He was an explorer of some renown 10 years ago, though he regrettably retired and passed on not long ago. It is said that he discovered a treasure worth 100 million gil. That's right, 100 million gil. Winebound called it the most precious secret of Lalafuta III, who was the Sultan of Baladia some 700 years ago. Just think what we might do with such a treasure. Aye, I say we, for should you aid me in my search, I would gladly share the spoils. What say you? Alright, one, I want to know if we're getting the split like 50-50, or am I getting all of, like 99% of it because I'm going to be doing the work, or how's this gonna work? Anyways, should we choose to undertake this quest, we will receive no guidance from the journal or duty list. We will need to read the text carefully and decipher the clues to determine our next course of action. This type of quest will be recurring occasionally throughout Final Fantasy XIV. It's a riddle quest. We have to solve the riddles. And that's why I have not done this yet. I was saving it so I could solve the riddles here for us today. Moreover, it may be unwise to rely on other adventurers for assistance, as their clues and objectives may differ from yours. I think this is unique to this first riddle quest. I think it's unique to this one. I think all future riddle quests, it'll be the same clues for everyone, but for this one, it does vary from player to player. The path our quest may take and the rewards we may receive are unknown. Yet knowing this, will we follow in the footsteps of Winebound and seek out the treasure of Lalafuta III? We will. Of course you will, only a great fool would turn her back on phenomenal wealth and everlasting glory. Now then, to the task at hand. Upon the statue of the Silent King is read a message left to us by Winebound himself, which I believe will lead us to the treasure. Alas, it is encoded, and deciphering it is no small feat. See for yourself, I have only finished the first passage. What is worse, the contents are nigh unintelligible. It appears to be a riddle, but beyond that I cannot say. And so I would turn to you. If you solve the riddles I decipher, then together we can claim the treasure of Lalafuta III. A simple arrangement, yes? Then let us begin at once. Look to the statue for the first riddle. Alright, let's see this first message. Carved upon the statue is a series of strange characters. Next to them, written in chalk, we find Valiant Heart's translation. OSC, BRA, and SMMCE are fire, lightning, water, earth, ice, wind. The wheel must turn anew. Okay, I'm trying to think. What might those letters correspond to would be a pretty key thing to keep in mind. Let me take a picture of this real quick so I can refer back to it. Just in case. The first thing I noticed was the letters OSC, which made me think of the god Oshan of the 12, but Oshan is not lightning. Okay, I have a picture. The wheel must turn anew. Okay, well, the 6 elements. The wheel must turn anew. My immediate thought is the Sanctum of the 12? Because the Sanctum of the 12... The 12 gods do represent these 6 elements. And... well, I do not believe that those first letters represent the gods, at least not off the top of my head. OSC is the only one that could represent... let's see, there's N''S. The closest I can think of is Naldal, but that's NT, not NS. MECE, what? Well, we're gonna go check the Sanctum of the 12 first, and then I'm going to think about this thoroughly. And yeah, there's going to be absolutely no hints whatsoever from the game. I'll feel a little unsatisfied if I get this without figuring out what the letters mean, but it might be that we're not intended to understand the letters, because Winebout had to translate that for us. Okay, anything here at the Sanctum of the 12? Not seeing anything. Okay, so it's the 6 elements. What's the order? Fire, lightning, water, earth, ice, wind. What's the cycle? Fire, lightning, and wind are the most astral, with lightning at the top. I think it goes lightning, fire, earth, lightning, fire, earth, ice, water, wind, I think is the cycle. The wheel must turn anew. Let me think about this for a little bit. I'll be back. Okay, I'm honestly having a slight bit of trouble understanding what the letters mean. The letters are important, I know, but I need like a hint on what they could represent. If HO is fire, if OSC is lightning, NS is earth. I'm wondering if there's like locations in game that correspond to those letters, and the correspondence to those letters then corresponds to the element in some way. For example, hypothetically, like, I know there's marks of the 12 all over Eorzea. Could, like, the letters be referring to the locations where the marks of the 12 are corresponding to each element? But I did check the journal, even though I said there would be no hints, and Valiant Heart apparently mentioned a man named Yayoroku who can offer assistance. We wish to speak of ancient Balladia. It would be my pleasure to converse with a fellow student of history. Wait, this isn't about Winebound's message, is it? Then you must be another wide-eyed treasure hunter searching for the lost treasure of Lalafuta III. Winebound was a skilled storyteller, and you would be forgiven for thinking his tales were all true. Even now, I cannot say if he was lying to us or himself. You say you deciphered his message? Very well, let us hear it. Fire, lightning, water, earth, ice, wind. The wheel must turn anew. The 6 elements, but the order is wrong. I noticed that. I did notice that. Because, like I said, it's lightning, water, lightning, fire, earth, ice, water, wind. So that's 2, 1, 4, 5, 3, 6. 2, 1, 4, 5, 3, 6. Does that mean anything? The spark of lightning ignites when it strikes, and thus fire is born. The heat of fire renders to ash all that it touches, and thus earth is born. The density of earth shuns sun and harbors cold, and thus ice is born. The armor of ice melts away, and thus water is born. The moistness of water mists and rises, and thus wind is born. The gusts and sides of winds gather the clouds, and thus lightning is born. A passage from Essences and Permutations, in case you are unaware. Anyway, I have no idea what Winebound meant to say. The wheel must turn anew. The order is wrong, and they gave us the right order just there. I might actually not be able to solve this. If I could find like a hint that doesn't actually give me the answer, that would be wonderful. Let me keep thinking about this. This is a lot harder than I expected. Riddle quests are normally like fairly difficult, but not this hard. This is rough. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So, the letters are out of order, and the letters correspond to the elements, but the elements are out of order. If the wheel must turn anew, then we need to put the elements in the right order, and if the letters correspond with the elements, then we rearrange the letters into the correct order of... We rearrange the letters in the correct order of the wheel alongside the elements they correspond to, and it spells out, I was right the fucking first time, it's Oshan's Embrace. I'm looking at the image right now. Lightning, OSC, Fire, HO, Earth, N''S, it spells out Oshan's, Ice, EM, Water, BRA, Wind, CE, Embrace. Oshan's Embrace. So we are heading on to La Nocia. Okay, I think I'm starting to get a feel for how these riddles are gonna work. I was not sure whether or not the letters themselves were useful, but of course they're useful, they wouldn't give them to us otherwise. It feels really obvious in hindsight. If I need to put the elements in the right order, then of course I need to put the corresponding letters in the right order too. It feels silly now that I realize that, but let's see. Oshan's Embrace is here in Morabie Bay. So now we just need to figure out where. It's the bridge specifically. It's gotta be somewhere around here. And we'll know we found it when we find the sparklies to indicate the quest indicator. Let's see. Perhaps this side of the bridge. I don't see it on the bridge at all. I guess also part of the issue is I was overthinking. I was trying to think, is there a meaning to the order that the elements are in instead of what they should be in? But oh, you all have fun. Anyways, I was trying to figure out if there's like extra meaning in how the elements were out of order, but no, they're just out of order. We need to put them in the right order. Where? Like, it spells out Oshan's Embrace. It feels so obvious now that I see it. God, and my brain kept going. Why don't we check Oshan's Embrace? Like, even before I figured it out, just because the 3 letters for Oshan just kept nagging at me. At long last, does the wheel turn anew? Are you the one for whom I have waited? Praise the 12! Master Winebound told me it might be years, even decades until one came. If someone came, but I swore an oath, so I couldn't. You don't understand, this is all so exciting, but you're not here for that or for me. You're here for the treasure, aren't you? This is Master Winebound's journal, and it belongs to you now. No, that's not true. It was always yours. You had yet to claim it is all. Keep it close, fellow explorer. This is only the beginning. Alright, let's check out. I guess we're heading back to Valiant Heart to decode the next piece. Hello there, valiant heart. I have solved the first piece of the riddle. Satora, you've returned. Tell me, have you solved Winebound's riddle? Where did it lead you? I went to Ocean's Embrace and found an explorer there. The journal of the explorer himself. I knew I was right to trust in you. I have news to share as well, though it's not quite as uplifting. I have deciphered another passage only to find myself confronted with yet another inscrutable riddle. But I'm sure you'll have no trouble with it, given how quickly you deduced the answer to the first one. You'll find my translation next to the message as before. I'm counting on you, my puzzle aficionado. Okay, what is this time? Memanugu knows the steps. That's a lot of letters. That feels like a cipher. Well, obviously I should probably go speak with Memanugu. But I also want to see, I want to count how many letters are in each message. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. Okay, it's off by 1, so it's not that type of cipher. Alright, so Memanugu. I don't think it's actually interesting for me to go searching all over for Memanugu, so I'm just gonna look up their location, because that feels a lot more, that feels more reasonable. Alright, apparently Memanugu is over here in central Thanalan, down by this bridge over in this camp. Memanugu knows the steps. So if I understand you correctly, a riddle on a statue said, I know the steps. A riddle written by Winebound? I'm sorry, but I haven't the foggiest what that could mean. I swear, famed explorer or not, that old man was a bloody fool when it came to combat. This step nonsense reminds me of the time he tried to critique the form of my Elizan associate. God, I'm tongue-tied today. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, over and over again until the end. Gods, he said it so many times, it's been stuck in my head ever since. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay, so APQ? No. Oh. So hang on. I'm gonna need to write this down. Let me see. So AQ PMYF KZLD GPS RQQHOFR. 2 steps forward, A goes to C. 1 step back, Q goes to P. 2 steps forward, P goes to QR. 1 step back from M is L. This is not going well, I will admit. 2 steps forward. Would it cycle around to A? I think I have misunderstood the puzzle. Okay, so it's not a direct letter replacement in that way. Okay, I got it. I had to look up, I unfortunately did have to look up how to interpret 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because there were like a million different ways to interpret it, unfortunately. So I was actually correct initially with the cycling through the alphabet, but I was interpreting it slightly incorrectly. I was interpreting it as move 2 letters forward, and then on the next letter move 1 letter back, and then move the next letter 2 forward, and then move the next one 2 back. No. The first 2 letters move 1 forward, then the next letter moves 1 back. 2 letters move 1 forward, 1 letter moves 1 back. So B and Q both go forward to BR, P goes back to O. M and Y both go forward to NZ, F goes back to E. Bronze. KZ go forward to LA with Z wrapping around A. L goes back to K. D and G go forward to E, H. So now we have Bronze Lake H. P goes back to O. S goes forward. T. Okay, Bronze Lake Hot, the last word springs. And sorry if my voice sounded weird there for a moment. I am turning back and forth in my chair to look between several monitors where I'm taking notes and playing the game. I feel bad that I had to look up how to interpret that one, but like I was on the right track? So I do feel good about that much at least. I just 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So it's 2 step forward, 1 step back. I was reading it as 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I don't think I could reasonably have been expected to read that in the correct phrasing, honestly. I think that's a little too obtuse to, like, you can absolutely figure that out, but that's one of those riddles where it's extremely easy to just get the wrong interpretation and then never be able to figure out you were off by just like the slightest amount. Okay, so we're looking for an adventure here, or an explorer here at Bronze Lake's Hot Springs. Aha! Or at the very least, I'm not looking up where to go next. At most I looked up the hint for how to interpret it. Magic runes float across our eyes, assuming familiar shapes. Seeker of treasure and truth, I congratulate and bid you welcome. Who are you, I wonder, and why have you come this far? What drives you to solve my riddles, and what do you expect to find? You must wonder what kind of man I was as well. Doubtless you have heard some stories, some more flattering than others. But I have rambled enough, and you must be rewarded. Allow me to share with you a verse written by my favorite poet. Clandestine rendezvous leave me breathless and wanting. Obsession consumes me, a thirst for the taboo. Taking a picture of this. Clandestine rendezvous leave me breathless and wanting. Obsession consumes me, a thirst for the taboo. Well, we need to go back to Valiant Heart, so Valiant Heart will probably have an relevant information to decode this. Hello there, Valiant Heart. I return with another piece of the puzzle. A message written in magic runes. Amazing. Though the content was rather disappointing, now that I think on it, I was expecting a clue to the treasure's location. Oh, I almost forgot. I finished translating another riddle. Why don't you go and take a look? Okay, so none of the things I've been receiving have actually been useful, is what you're saying. Carved upon the statue is a series of strange characters. Okay. That capitalization is important. Let me just transcribe this. Just gotta get this written down accurately. Let me make sure I've written it down correctly so far. Heal fears with H on the second L capitalized. Cutthroats with the U and the A capitalized. Brigands. Okay. Members of the Marauders Guild understand the importance of etiquette. Hilfear's Cutthroats. Hilfear? Isn't that the Storm Commander? I might be remembering that wrong. Alright, on to Limsa. Let's head to the Marauders Guild. Okay. Well... I guess we're not getting the hint from a person. A treatise on cultivating interpersonal relationships and influencing others catches our eyes. We open it to the bookmark page and take a note of an underlined passage. A deliberate display of emotion as befits the situation can be effective in deepening your relationships with others. Okay, we need to use an emote. We need to use an emote at the correct place. Okay, I want to double check that I remember correctly, but I want to say Hilfear is the Storm's commander, right? Because that will influence how I want to interpret this message. He's the founder of the Marauders Guild. Okay, so not the Storm Commander. I'm thinking of someone else. Leader of the Bloody Executioners. Okay, so let's see. Hilfir is the leader of the Bloody Executioners. Their boat was the Astalicia, if I remember correctly. We have dealt with them before. I'm pretty sure we've done a few quests where we even met Hilfir up here. Looking at the capitalized letters, we have H, L, U, A, G. I mistranscribed this earlier and put a Y instead of the U. I just typoed. And we need to use an emote. Okay, well, I found the location, and looking at the letters, seems like our best hint to what emote to use. I'm immediately seeing the word laugh in there if we unscramble them, so let's laugh at the end of the boat. Oh my god, Keeper of the Moon laughs are so unhinged. Magic runes float across our eyes, assuming familiar shapes. Seeker of treasure and truth, I must congratulate you once more. Let us celebrate your latest accomplishment with another verse from my favorite poet. Perchance we meet in public, but be not a beguiler. Ply me not with honeyed words, and spare me glances alluring. Taking a picture of this, I will admit, this one I actually did have to look up the answer, but only because I mistranscribed the goddamn letters. Which, that was so stupid of me, I should have been more careful. Because I was thinking, okay, isn't his boat the Astalicia? But I kept doubting myself, especially since wrong letters meant I couldn't figure out what the emote was supposed to be. Alright, well, now I feel stupid for that, but I could have gotten that. And then I also kept doubting myself, like, no, he's also the founder of the Marauders Guild, so we should stay at the Marauders Guild, but no. I think if I had figured out that the emote was laugh, by figuring out I'd mistranscribed the letter. If I'd figured out the emote was laugh, tried that at the book, I would have at the very least known that, hey, okay, obviously the emote is laugh. Because that's the only word you can get out of that forms an emote. So this is just the wrong place, so we'll look for something else related to Hilfir. I think I would have gotten that if I had just noticed that one of the letters was wrong. I just was careless is all. And you had to do what to trigger the message? I know Winebat had some skill with magics, but that beggars belief. My curiosity aside, why is he continuing to spout poetry? Bah, never mind. For now, let us focus on the next riddle, which I've just finished translating. It's waiting for you, Satora. You know, I'm starting to wonder if maybe you're missing the point of the riddles, Valiant Hearts. If sword plus sword is dagger, then return to me with G of A. The master of the markets has my list. Sword plus sword equals dagger. Master of the markets, so probably... The only one I can think of who was described as so there was someone who's kind of in charge of the markets in all three city-states. The only one I remember being called the Master of the Markets is Parsemontre in Gridania. Return to me with G of A. Gridania begins with G and ends in A. But what's sword plus sword equals dagger? We'll probably need the hint from the Master of the Markets to figure that one out. I'm going to try and Parsemontre first, because G of A just leads me to think that I might be right on Gridania, but I can go check with the Master of the Markets in all three city-states. Okay, here we go. Limsa Lominsa, a fine evening to you, madam. Winebad's list? Pray let me think a moment. It has been several years, unless I have been mistaken, but there was a man by that name who begged assistance in procuring some supplies. With luck, his list may still be... Aha! Okay. One is pearl, 2 is fluorite, 3 is malachite, 4 is choker, 5 is sunstone, 6 is earrings, 7 is ring, and 8 is bracelet. Rather vague to say the least. I would have requested more information, but I haven't seen him since that day. Okay, it's a math puzzle. I just need to figure out how the letters correspond to... Okay, so sword plus sword is dagger. Can I spell that with these? We have an S in Sunstone. We have an R in Ring. We don't have most of the letters, actually. Crap. I'm gonna have to think about this for a bit. Oh dear. What am I missing here? I need to find some way to convert that list to match up with the sword plus sword equals dagger. Okay, once again, yet another riddle has stumped me because I'm not sure how the list corresponds with the letters. I can't see how they line up. So I looked up a slight hint and stopped the moment I had an idea of what to do, and I think I can handle it from here. From what I saw, the hint I saw was ignoring the list and just looking at what the math would have to be for exactly what I thought, which is each letter represents a number. So they're just doing math based on that. And it seems to be ignoring the list, and we'll see how the list ties in later, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be obvious once we have started solving this. So we've got sword and sword, 2 5-letter words, so 2 5-digit numbers, which are the same number. And it equals dagger, which is 6 letters, so 6 digits. So let's see. If each letter is a different number, so then I guess we can start by looking at the largest and smallest numbers we can make. So largest with every letter being a different digit is 98765 would be the highest possible. Multiply that by 2 because we're adding sword to itself. 98765 would be 197530. So doing that math, the highest that dagger can be is 197530. So D has to be a 0 or a 1. It can't be any higher than that, so D has to correspond to a 0 or a 1. And we also know that the middle 2 letters are the same, so the middle 2 digits are the same, GG. Give me just a moment to think about this a little bit more. I'm going to try and figure out what the next step to do is, but I think I have a few ideas. R can only be an even number because it's effectively sword times 2, so that's the 1's digit. 1's digit has to be even if it's multiplied by 2. So R would be 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. D is 0 or 1. If D is 0, then R can't be 0, and if R is 0, then D can't be 0, D has to be 1. Those middle 2 digits have to be the same. I wonder if I can use that to make any headway in this. If I can narrow down anything, that'd be wonderful. Actually, no, here we go. Here's a thought. So dagger starts with D, so we know that D has to be 0 or 1. Sword ends with D, so sword either ends in 0 or ends in 1 because dagger starts in 0 or 1. So the sword has to end in 0 or 1. So if it ends in 0 multiplied by 2, that 1's digit is 0. So we can't have, we're probably not going to have repeating digits. We're not going to have 2 letters corresponding to the same digit. So that would require D and R to be the same digit. So D cannot be 0. D has to be 1. Okay, so we've made some progress. We know one of the digits for sure. And that also means that R has to be 2 because, again, sword plus sword, the 1's digit, 1 plus 1, has to be 2. Okay, so now we have sword is SWO 21. Okay, we can start to piece this together now. So, 21 plus 21 would be 42. So E has to be 4. Now what? If E is 4, choker. 4 is choker. 2 is fluorite. 1 is pearl. D is pearl. Fluorite is R. And choker is E. E is the 4th letter of choker. R is the 5th letter of fluorite. And D doesn't appear in pearl. I'm still not sure how the list comes into it. The hint was bring me G of A, correct? So A is going to correspond to... Come on, brain, work with me. A will correspond... G of A. A is going to correspond to something on the list, an item on the list, and G is going to correspond to the number of that item. So we need to buy that number of that item. Okay, so we need to find G and A. We have DR and E. So let's see. I think our next best bet is to figure out G and the 2 G's in a row. Sword plus sword, the 21 plus the 21, there's not going to be any carryover, so they're not going to affect that. So WO plus WO is going to give, in the ones and tens in the ones and tens digits, the same number twice. So O plus O is a number plus itself, so G has to be even. So it has to be 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. It can't be 2 or 4 because we've already used those. We've already found those. So it's 0, 6, or 8. And since W plus W is also going to give G in its ones digit... Sorry, I am really mathing this in a very abstract way. I'm so sorry. This is a really hard riddle. This is a math riddle, and this is up my alley. Since that equals G in the ones digit, and O plus O equals G in its ones digit. So let's see. That implies that W probably also has to be even. So W is 0, 6, or 8. We can probably assume that G is not... Wait, no. No, I'm looking at that wrong. That constraint doesn't apply to W, it applies to the G's. So I guess we can look at... What single digits, when doubled, give 0, 6, or 8 in their ones digit? So 0 you can get from 0 or 5, because if you double 5 it gets 10, and the ones digit is 0. If you double 0 you get 0. I don't think there's any others. Then 6. 6 you can get from 3. 3 doubled is 6. So 0 goes to 0, 1 goes to 2, 3 goes to 6, 4 goes to 8. Actually, that might be a better way of looking at this. 0 goes to 0, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4, 3 goes to 6, 4 goes to 8. Then at 5, it resets. 0, 6 goes to 2, 7 goes to 4, 8 goes to 6, 9 goes to 8. So 0, 6, and 8. We want to keep 0, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9 are the possibilities for W and O. Those are the possibilities for W and O. Come on, brain. There's also carryover we need to worry about. If the two O's add up to more than 10, that carries over into the W's. But that 10th digit can only be a 0 or a 1. And if it's a 1, that would make, since the W's are the same, that would make the G odd in that column, but we know G has to be even from the O's column. So, O has to be less than 5. O has to be less than 5 because there can't be carryover. And then W adds to the same ones digit. So I think W is O plus 5. I think we can safely say that. O has to be less than 5. And it has to be 0, 3, or 4. O, or W, is O plus 5. So it is either 5, 8, or 9. None of which are used yet. But that does mean that W plus W carries over a 1 with sword, so 2S plus 1 equals A. And we have no idea what S is. I wish I had a way to constrain this a little bit more. I wish I had a way to constrain this a little bit more. We know A has to be odd. I guess I can start writing out what digits we have definitely used to see what is left over. If 2S plus 1 is A is a singular digit. Well, 2S plus 1 has a 1's digit of A. That could be anything. Crap. Yeah, I might need to cut ahead while I think about this more. This is a tough one. This is some math logic. Oh, O can't be 4 because we're already using 4 for E, so W can only be 5 or 8 and O can only be 0 or 3. That narrows it down a little bit. Okay, so we've already... I'm back. I thought about it a little bit more. We've already determined that D has to be 1, so... S plus the 1 carried over from adding the W's, has to be 1A. So 2S plus 1 equals 1A. So it's at least 10 with an odd, with A being odd. So A is odd, so it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We've already used 1. We have not used 3, 5, 7, 9, at least not definitively. W could be a 5. So 2S plus 1 is 13, 15, 17, or 19. So let me go through this. 13, 15, 17, 19. Give S equals 6. S equals 7. S equals 8, or S equals 9. And we have A is 3, A is 5, A is 7, A is 9 corresponding to those. Okay, well, if A is 9, then S is 9. That won't work, so we can roll that out. So that leaves us S is 6, A is 3, S is 7, A is 5, or S is 8, A is 7. What have we used out of these? 1, 2, and 4 are the only ones that are confirmed. So we can't narrow down anymore by that method. Let me see. SWORD DAGGER. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 different letters, so 2 digits will be unused. I wonder which it will be. Honestly, zero's probably... We're probably not going to use 0, at least not for G or A. Since A probably can't be 0. Well, A can't be 0 because A is odd. But A is going to be an item on the list, and G is going to be a number of that item. So G is going to be at least 1. It can't be 0, like, because we can't just buy nothing. Unless that's a trick. So I think we can say G is definitely greater than 0. That would leave us with 6 or 8. Crap, I think I'm stumped at this point. I think I've gone through most of the logic I can think of. I scrolled back down on the hint just enough to get an idea of what the next step should be. And it looks like the next step should be figuring out how to narrow down what G can be. So let's see. We have 3 options. G, if G is 0. Oh, if G is 0. Or sorry, if O is 0, then that forces G to be 0, because 0 plus 0 is 0. We can't have the same digits, so O can't be 0. That means O is 3. That gives us another definite letter. And if O is 3, then that immediately means that G is 6. And if O is 3, then that means W is 8. Okay, a lot of things just fell into place. Let me just update my notes. So W is 8. O is 3, R is 2, D is 1. Okay, now that we have this, we can probably go back and take another look at what we have for... Actually, wait, hold on. Okay, we just need A now. We just need A now. That's the only thing we're missing. We have G, so we need 6 of something. So let's see. So we have 8 plus 8 gives 16. 1 carries over into the A, so let me double check. S plus 1 is some odd number greater than 10. S could still be 6, 7, 8. Actually, hold on. We've used 8, so S cannot be 8, which means A can't be 7. So either S is 6 and A is 3, or S is 7 and A is 5. S can't be 6 because we already have 6 for G, So that means that S is 7 and A is 5, and that is every single letter decoded. Okay. Okay. Let me just put this in the right order. Then take a look down at our list. We wanted G of A, correct? I managed to get that with only 2 hints, and that was just to like... What step should I look at next, just to refresh me, because this is a lot of math to look at? Especially since I'm trying to do live commentary. So let's see. G of A. Bring G, 6 of A, 5. 6 sunstones? 6 sunstones. Do we really just need to buy 6 sunstones? That feels off. Can we buy, 6 sunstones here? We got 6 of earrings of sunstone earrings. Okay, it's not the number. It's the accessory. Is the 6 is the earrings. The 5 is the sunstone. Earrings of sunstone. Okay, so let's bring that back. I think that's it. I think we've got it. Oh, that was some math. I'm gonna be right back, actually. I need a brain food. Okay, I am back. Hello, Valiant Heart. I got you some sunstone earrings. I may not be the most educated man, but even I know arithmetic uses numbers, not letters. It's called algebra. I have your sunstone earrings. What do you want with them? I'm pretty sure I solved it, right? I have the... Do they need to not be in my armory chest? Did they get put in the armory chest? They did. Huh. Let me see. Do we need to equip it, perhaps? Just to, like, show the message that we have them? As we linger near the strange markings, our jewelry begins to grow uncomfortably warm. Wait and see if anything happens? Yes! Magic runes float across our eyes, assuming familiar shapes. Seeker of treasure and truth, you are clever indeed. I pray you appreciate this next verse as much as I. Ere long this torment must end, together we must be. Renounce it all I would, but we must be more discreet. Okay then, Valiant Heart, you got our next clue? You saw something, didn't you? Tell me everything. Everything! And again he includes a verse of poetry. Gods, why must you be so obtuse? Why can I not just tell us where it is? I don't know what to do, Satora. I finished deciphering the remaining portion of his message and... just read it. Alright, what do we got? The latest translation, irrespective of the lives we lead, we are often defined by our beginnings and endings. The poet understood this, so do I, and so must you. Seeker of treasure and seeker of truth, I have given you the key. The lock lies before you behind my obfuscations. It's a story, you see, but not the one we were told. Okay, I'm looking back through the poetry. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. I'm looking at the poems. I've been looking at the poems. He said that the hint was not what we were told, and beginnings and endings. So maybe first and last words, first and last letters? Alright, let's take a look at the poems. First and last words, clandestine wanting, obsession taboo, perchance, beguiler, ply, alluring, this isn't working too well, air, be, renounce, discreet. Okay, that's not working too well, let's try first and last letters. Actually, hold on. First letters, C for clandestine, O for obsession, P for perchance, P for ply, E for air, and R for renounce. That's copper. That's okay. Copper, from the beginning letters, if we look at the last letters, G from wanting, O from taboo, R from beguiler, G from alluring, E from bee, and T from discreet, that spells gorget. Copper gorget. Alright, I guess we're going back to the markets. I return with a copper gorget equipped. Carved upon the statue is the translation. Nothing. I have it equipped. He mentioned is the poet, so perhaps these verses contain a clue? I keep turning them over in my head, but to no avail. Actually, why do you seek the treasure? Let's just say that during my enlistment in the Flames, I picked up a few bad habits. Expensive habits. Really though, what does it matter? If we find it, we'll both be richer than Lord Lolorito. Okay, I guess repeat the verses. Yeah. C-O and G-O. P-P and R-G. And E-R and E-T. Copper gorget. I have it equipped. Alright, well, I know I've solved it, so the question is just, where do I bring it? Alright, I did look up a note for this one because it doesn't appear on the map and I wouldn't have thought to do this. As we approach the faded markings, we feel the copper gorget around our neck grow warm. Magic runes float across our eyes, assuming familiar shapes. Seeker of treasure and truth, I can deny you no longer. The most precious secret of Lalafuto III, priceless beyond measure, is yours. Reach within and claim your prize. A grinding sound draws our attention to a section of the statue where a small opening has appeared. What was that? The statue! That hole wasn't there before! You solved it, didn't you? The final riddle. Then you know where the treasure is. That there in your hands. That is the Sultan's secret treasure. Give it to me, give it to me! The gods may condemn me, my people forsake me. History judged me a fool, power and prestige, fortune and fineries. All I would forsake for you. My kingdom may crumble. And it goes on like this, line after line of love poetry? These are not more than the words of some lovesick buffoon to his beloved. Over and over he repeats the same hackneyed phrases in his desire to renounce, to forsake, to abdicate. Abdicate the throne. Wait, could it be that this was written by Lalafuto III? Many believe that the Sultan's wife had him assassinated so that she could claim the throne for herself. Though that would seem the most likely explanation, his sudden disappearance remains a mystery to this day. Yet if these poems are to be believed, Lalafuto III was madly in love with his paramour, and wished to be free of his royal responsibilities. He was plotting to flee the capital in secret and may very well have succeeded. An ambitious courtier could have used these poems to gain favor with the Sultana or her enemies. On one hand, they are arguably evidence that Lalafuto III still lived. On the other hand, one could assert that Memedo the Meek had him murdered for this ultimate betrayal. But why did Winebound claim the treasure was worth 100 million gil? 700 years ago he would have been right, but the nation of Baladi is no more. There's something written here in a different script. A love that will echo through the ages. Truly there is not more precious in all creation. All those riddles, all those clues, all for this! Winebound, you thrice-damned son of a whore! I can't pay off my debts with swiping poetry! Maybe you should become a bard. Then you can. Oh, well, there were a few more side quests I intended to do today, but I honestly didn't expect this quest to be this much of an ordeal. I'm sad I wasn't able to solve many of those steps by myself, but I was able to make good progress on all of them. Oh, wow, that was a trip. Okay, well, there's like 3 more side quests in Realm Reborn. We'll do them next time we do side quests. I'll see everyone next time. I need to go rest. My head hurts.